Mr. Secretary. Mr. Secretary, the way I understand your proposal of the $17.6 billion is predominantly for additional space, additional personnel, professionals, and some money for IT. And I certainly agree that in terms of facilities and personnel, there's a need. My CBOC in Oxnard, California has, as you stated in your testimony, is one that has had double-digit increases each year over the last couple of years. And not much has been done over those last couple of years, I will add. I think what I have learned through all of the hearings that we have had, that the care for veterans once they get in the system is pretty good. It's accessing the system is where we have seen it's truly broken. When I see the IT proposal there, it concerns me. It's a red flag for me because you did mention off-the-shelf products that you're looking at, off-the-shelf technology that you're looking at. But I really want to know, we've got to fix the access part of this. And I don't want to invest more money into a broken system. I want to invest money into new technologies and innovation and getting the VA into the 21st century, much like the private sector is and the tools that they have to access a healthcare system. So if you could just comment on that, please.
First of all, I would say the majority of the IT resources, as I understand the proposal here, are associated with the activation of the facilities. So it's the IT infrastructure that we need as we activate facilities and bring on additional clinical staff. There are a number of things underway to really take us into the 21st century here. Part of it is the purchase of the commercial off-the-shelf scheduling system, which is not included here. It's already provided within the core funding. But there are other things. We were talking earlier about interoperability for purchase care, and there are technology investments that are included here associated with that. Philip, anything else to add?
Sure. I would just add a couple of items relative to the IT. I mean, part of it is we have a capital request in there, and we're requesting a certain amount. I think it's about 12 to 13 million square feet for lease space. But we have to outfit that lease space with IT to make it useful, to connect it. PCs, cables, networks, wireless, telecoms, et cetera. Sorry.
Yeah,
so that's a part of it.
I'm sorry.
So that's built into it. It's not all just raw development work. It's what you need and actually to make use of the space you get, and then to actually connect the staff you're hiring. You need IT to make it happen. So that's part of the request.
So, Mr. Secretary, then, in terms of off-the-shelf solutions that you're speaking of, what's the time frame in that? What are we looking at?
Sure. There are actually 3 or 4 different initiatives, kind of parallel initiatives on the scheduling front. We have already let a contract to deal with some of the most challenging aspects of the current system, and we're expecting those to begin to be fielded within the next 6 to 12 months. The timeline for the purchase of the commercial off-the-shelf system is still a bit up in the air based upon the contracting approach that we're going to have to pursue there. But I think 2016 is probably the best case scenario for the introduction of that particular system. That sound right, Philip? And so that's one of the reasons we're going ahead to make the investments in the fixes to the existing system so that we don't wait 2 years to have that improved functionality.
Thank you. And very quickly, in your opening comments as well, you talked about the VBA and the improvements there. We also learned in our hearings that we've had a 2,000% increase in the appeals with regards to benefits. So when you add that together, to me, it gives me pause in terms of believing that we've made the improvement. And if you could just briefly comment on that.
Sure. Glad to. There's been this laser-sharp focus on the disability claims backlog. I perceived that walking in the door the morning of my 3rd day at VA. I was over at the White House talking about the backlog and VBMS. And so, this laser-sharp focus on the disability claims backlog, we have not been as focused as we needed to be on non-rating claims. on appeals and on our fiduciary claims. And that's what we're really talking about doing here, particularly with appeals. The majority, 90% of the number of appeals that are in process sit in VBA. We've allocated additional resources, thank you very much, to Congress's support, to the Board of Veterans Appeals, which is helping us, and we're using some technology there to make them more efficient. But we have work to do in the VBA side to be able to provide more timely decisions.
Thank you. Mr. Huelskamp, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate your continued leadership on so many issues, and appreciate